So yeah. So I even sleep with one of those, like ocean, like the waves, the sounds of the ocean.
Yeah.
And like I cannot sleep without it.
White noise.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any animals?
No.
Okay.
A lizard got in my house yesterday. Does that count?
Not really.
I'm looking at getting some chickens.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're here with Jeremy Jackson.
Getting chickens.
Getting chickens. Do you want chickens because you obviously you want the organic?
I eat a lot of eggs.
Yeah. How many eggs do you eat in a week?
So I eat about 4 to 6 a day.
4 to 6 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
So, I get the pasture raised.
Yeah.
Organic,
They're expensive.
Yeah. Pay $20 for it's like $1 an egg,
Yeah. My son, he eats pretty much the same, like 4 to 6 eggs a day.
Yeah.
And if I actually had the space, I would totally get chickens.
Yeah. I got a cool backyard, or like little front yard. I can do it.
Yeah.
My sister has a bunch.
She does?
Yeah.
Do you get the eggs from her?
No.
They don't have extras.
Yeah, they don't have
She's like, you got to go to the farmer's market for that.
Exactly.
I would have like a whole, I love miniature farm animals.
Yeah.
Like
mini goats.
Like the mini goats.
Mini pigs. Pocket pigs.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people say they're minis or pockets and then they're not.
I got one.
You did? And it was not mini?
Dude, it was gnarly.
Like it was huge?
They're so highly intelligent.
Yeah.
That if you do anything wrong, like as soon as they get their way,
yeah,
they won't stop doing the thing, because they just want food 24/7.
Yeah.
Banging cupboards, knocking trash cans over.
Yeah.
Squealing at you, biting your ankles. It will make your life hell to get what it wants.
Huh.
Kind of like addicts.
I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of somebody I used to be.
Yeah, totally.
But I want one of those mini Highland cows. Have you seen those?
Yes, I've seen them.
They have the long hair.
Yeah.
Those are rad. People are getting them as pets.
Oh my gosh.
Kat was just here last week. You know what Kat is? SoCal Kat.
If I saw her, probably.
For sure. Yeah, you would. For sure. And she was like, oh my God, I got to get a couple of those. I'm like, we just need to get a couple of those. And they could be like therapy cows.
Like the hair coming in.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for being here.
Of course.
It's amazing to have you on. I know you have a really powerful story. A lot of people probably know your story, but there's other people out there that don't know all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in recovery?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long you been in recovery for? Quite some time,
20,
huh?
22 years. I've spent the last 18 out of the last 22 years sober. I've had some pretty hard relapses.
Yeah.
But it's...
I'm glad you said that because relapse is part of most people's journeys. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. And there's still this stupid fucking, we can swear on this, stigma.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That surrounds that, with relapse.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, you guys. This is life. People relapse and a lot of people stay out or they don't, want to come back in the way they did before because they're shameful and then they're lying about it. And that whole thing.
Yeah. I had to go through, having 10 years, double digits, 11, 12, thinking I had anything figured out. PhD in recovery,
Yeah.
I'll go take a chip at your place, do you guys a favor and show the new guys it can be done. It's kind of hard not to get into that mindset, so swallowing my pride, eating crow, getting that newcomer chip, hearing people talk who really don't know what they're talking,
Right.
All that pride and ego stuff for sure.
Yeah. So how'd you get through that chatter and what people were saying and just, doing your own thing?
Yeah. Look, nobody does anything until doing the same thing is too painful, and you don't know what you're capable of until it's the only freaking option.
Yeah.
So through my own demise, which is what we're the best at, as addicts, we're the best at, killing ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And if you're not lucky enough to, be dead, and just live in this state of literally like fire ants are crawling all over your body and fingernails on a chalkboard is all you hear in your ears and you want to tear your own face off and you get to the point where you I don't know how to live. Whatever opinions, whatever ideas, whatever demands, whatever resentments I think I have, if it takes letting go of all those, I'm ready, So it was that place of weeping I know so much. I can do really good things. I build it up and it comes down again. And I commit to whether it's a marriage or a career path or some big idea. And somehow along the way, the self takes over again. And I'm running the show and I don't even know it. And now I'm a producer of calamity and chaos. And I've lost, I can't differentiate the true from the false. And I find I do that. I've done that enough times that I never want to do it again.
Yeah.
And in order to never do it again, I have to stay completely surrendered. I have to stay open to everything and attached to nothing. No more big deals, no more big ideas. The only thing I ever want to achieve is being surrendered so that I can be in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. And if I'm in a position of neutrality, safe and protected, a worker amongst workers, another banana on the bunch, just looking how I can let go a little more and help somebody else, all of a sudden when my head comes up from that work, staying surrendered, staying effective for others, I look around and I have everything I've ever freaking wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's a new experience. It's different. The things that I possess are now more within me than with on the outside. And from that place of like, wow, then I'm like, oh, maybe I can build that business. Maybe I can do life differently.
Yeah.
You know, it's thus we were born again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and that's so perfectly said, and that surrender. And I find for me too, like staying in that state of surrender. And also if I stay in a state of gratitude, like everything just works out.
Yeah.
Like you just have to stay in that state. Yeah. And I think it's like good for people to see someone like you that you've been successful. You know what I mean? And like addiction doesn't discriminate. Like it's coming for anybody, no matter who you are, what walk of life, how much you have, don't have. I mean, there's certain things that it doesn't matter. And like people would say to me, like my ex-husband, he'd always say to me, Jenny, you're so strong in other aspects of your life. Like, what the fuck what's wrong with you? Just don't do it. Just stop was his biggest thing. Because we'd like go on weekend benders, right? And like he would stop on Monday morning and I could not stop. And he like could not.
Precious.
Seriously. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And it was always like, just stop. What's wrong with you? And it's just not possible until we find that space that you found, being able to surrender completely and fully.
Yeah. And just, gratitude, that's an action. It's not a reaction. I don't wait for a check to come in the mail or to get a new job to get grateful. Oh, I'm glad it's going my way. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I knew this was going to happen and it happened. So now I'm right.
Yeah.
Now you know what I mean? Oof.
True.
Woe to you if that's how you're living.
Right.
Because I've done it enough times that I know it doesn't work for me. And I really haven't seen it work for anybody else in 22 years. So, you don't know what you know until you know it. And then once you know it, you can't unknow it. And now that you know it, keep reminding yourself of it.
Yeah.
So this attitude of gratitude, this working with the tool of gratitude, allows me what the Bible says, he who is grateful, he who is blessed in the little is blessed with the much. So if I can just notice Mother Nature, be aware of somebody else's feelings, take time. Oh, I'm so grateful that I'm in this still small space where I can notice and feel and appreciate and look at the stars. That's pretty cool. And man, I got it pretty good. I might not be where I want to be, but sure as heck, I'm not where I used to be. Wow, life is falling together. It's not falling apart. And you work with this stuff. You work with it mentally. It's a muscle that you build. And then again, the head comes up from the work. I did a triathlon once, and didn't train for it. I was in really great shape, and I thought I was just going to gung ho this thing. And I started in the front of the pack for the swim. And people were swimming over top of me. I was catching feet in the face. Hands are slapping you in the back of the head, pushing your head underwater. And it kind of put me in a little panic. And I kept stopping to look around. Swimming, look around. Where am I? How far have I come? How far do I have to go? And it was like I literally almost drowned because I panicked myself so much. And I worked with this woman, actually Alexandra Paul from Baywatch. She's really super cool person. Anyway, she's done multiple Ironmans, and she taught me that you never take your head out of the water to stop and look around. You get lost in the rhythm of the water and the air and the water and the air and the water and the air. You don't tread water, stop and look around. And
I love that.
That's gratitude.
Yeah.
Because when I stop to look around, I'm inundated and overwhelmed with all of the things that aren't going right, that could be better, that should be better. And I just stay in that flow of that gratitude, right?
Yeah.
God and others, right here, right now, right here, right now. You know, what can be done? All that kind of, all those things, prayer, meditation, you know, whatever that is for you, appreciating the small stuff. I'm in the little, I'm right where I'm at, where my 2 feet are. I'm appreciating, I'm noticing, I'm forcing myself to appreciate and notice.
Yeah.
I have to do it. And when I stop to look around, I'm probably going to take some credit for it. I'm probably going to expect that maybe it's going to go away, or how am I going to keep it now that I have it? It's the work. It's the chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water. Just keep freaking going.
Yeah.
Don't apply my mind that is limited. My mind that doesn't have all the puzzle pieces. My mind can only make sense of material world mathematics, but there's phantom forces. There's God digits I can't see. And that math is going to come out to be something far different than I think, probably more of what I need, not what I want, and or in my experience time and time again, better than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
So why don't I stop trying to figure everything out?
Right.
And just be in the flow state.
Yeah.
Spirit of the universe has your back 24/7.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the more I try to control, less control I have.
Yeah.
You know, and
The
when
more
I
I
just
let go, the more I
surrender,
have.
yeah.
Surrender to win.
That's it.
Welcome to the paradox. If you didn't know that recovery is a total paradox, now you know.
You're welcome.
The more you give, the more you receive.
It's so
right?
true.
Force meets force.
Yeah.
Letting go allows.
And that's life.
Yeah.
You know, like the way we live in recovery is the way everybody should live in life, you know?
Should.
Yeah. Were you always a spiritual person? Like, how did you find this spiritual path that you're on? Because your energy and like who you are is like,
I'm a different person.
You're
dude.
like, yeah, you're a whole other breed for real.
I know. And I love it.
It's amazing.
And I never want to let it go.
Yeah.
And there's been, you know, it calls acts of providence, you know, things outside of my understanding, things that I can't plan for, the God math, things that I can't expect, you know, well, I can kind of mentally expect things to happen, the new experience, different or better. I can expect that, but I don't know exactly what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
So acts of providence, God shots, you know, God expressing itself through others and whatever you want to call it. But a few of the things that have really helped me quantum leap from where I was to a different place without a bunch of work have been Emmett Fox's teachings.
Okay.
So Emmett Fox was, you know, he was the pastor at the Oxford group. He taught the 6 tenets. And Bill W. was in those pews listening to this dude speak on some of his earliest days of sobriety, right? So Emmett Fox really, really helped me. The Big Book Awakening, Mark Houston, Big Book Awakening.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that, you know, really opened me up. And, you know, I listened to a lot of Joe Dispenza. What else? I started studying Taoism. And getting into, you know, other religious teachings and really trying to take historical, like pre-recovery stuff and different mystics and teachers and bringing it all back into this kind of oneness. And it's an enlightening process. You know?
And do you feel like you're constantly a student?
Gotta be.
Yeah, because I feel that from you. And I feel like I'm that way too.
One of my biggest hangups is becoming like graduated or putting things on the shelf. We're sprinters, right?
Yeah.
We want to get the job done and then we want to move on to bigger and better things, right? Like check that off the list.
Yeah.
It's not a homework assignment. It's a constant state of being fed and lifted.
Yeah. And it's the journey. Like I truly believe that, you know, we should live in the journey, not the destination, because we never know where the destination is actually going to be.
The destination's a trap.
It is a trap.
It's a lie.
Yeah. And like everything that happens in our life, good or bad, like all those things need to happen because they're part of this journey. Right. Yeah. And if it's what's the saying go? If it's not over, If it's not done, how does it go? If it's not, you know what I'm talking.
Everything works out in the end. And if it's
done,
not working out, it's because it's not the end.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
So yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday does not exist.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is an idea.
It's an idea.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
It's a construct. It's a concept. And yesterday's gone forever. However, we live in yesterday because we're owned by yesterday or yesteryear, right? Or even that person. You know, we're owned. We're bringing it into the present. And what happens is by being so consciously aware of the past, we relive it. Guaranteed.
For sure.
Repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people settle for just being concentrated on what is. And if you're really fixated on what is, like matter, material, physical, you know, I have this much money and that can pay for this much thing. So I'll do this thing and then this thing will turn into that thing and that's how it's going to go. And, you know, what is, you will only ever experience what is. You will repeat the cycle of what is right now. And if you don't like what is, if it's not totally happy, joyous, and free, if you're not living in a state of abundance, well, obviously there's some things outside of what is that need to come in. And I'm only able to open the door to those phantom forces we talked about, those question marks. And so one of the Emmett Fox's teachings is called the golden key. And the golden key is the constant repetition of a spiritual statement that appeals to you all through the day. And by repeating this statement of absolute truth, it might not feel true, right? You might have like some real Newtonian world, tit for tat, X's and, you know, ones and zeros that don't lie. It's like, no, I have cancer. Or no, I owe the IRS $9 million. Or no, she's leaving me. Whatever. If that's what you're focused on, it's guaranteed to happen, right?
For sure.
So, you know, I say some statements like, I have a bunch of them. We can go over them if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
One of them is just embrace the mystery. Embrace the mystery. Embrace the mystery. Embrace the mystery. And the average human has 60,000 thoughts in a day. 60,000. And a lot of those are focused on very limited things.
Yeah.
Very form things. They're tangible things. But what we need is the formless. And what we need is the intangible, right? What we need is the thing that we're not able to do on our own.
Yeah.
So why would I be giving me any ability to manage or have power if I know I can't do it on my own? And where does the more stop, right? That's what willingness really is.
Yeah.
Where does more stop? Am I willing to allow more? Am I willing? And I don't know how to do that, honestly. But by constantly repeating, embrace the mystery, what happens is through conscious contact, through the mind, it drops into your nervous system, which is your subconscious mind. And your nervous system accepts it as your new norm. And you unfire and refire, or unwire and rewire. You train your nervous system to expect something beautiful and or that it's a mystery, and you get to be on the journey because you've identified today as a mystery, and you get to have fun. So this is what happened to me. Now I have fun. Now I'm in a state of curiosity all the time.
I love that.
Now I'm intrigued. I'm looking for intricacies and nuances. I'm absorbed in the moment because I'm in a mystery. It's like you go to that, what are those houses?
The like mate.
Rooms like that. What are they called?
Oh yeah. Escape room.
Escape room, right? How you go to escape? I've never been to an escape room.
I went once, hated it.
Okay, but when you go there, you know it's a thing to solve.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's fun.
Yeah.
But when you think you know it already, it's not fun.
Yeah. No, it's not.
If you think you've seen every rock and you know what rocks look like, you're never gonna pick one up. But as a little kid, you were like, "Look at this rock! I love this rock. Put it in my pocket. It's different than that one. Oh, it's pretty."
Yeah.
And we've stopped doing that.
Yeah.
And I want to embrace the mystery. I want to be back in that childlike state of
For
wonder.
sure.
I have to. My life depends on it.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah. I feel very much the same way.
Yeah.
Staying in that state of curiosity, like that's something that I try to always do.
That's a
Always
superpower.
do. Yeah. And like what you're saying, I didn't really realize I was doing it, but I truly believe in manifesting.
Absolutely.
I truly believe in the power of our thoughts and what we put out in the universe and energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like we attract and align with what we put out. And so if we're like
100%.
thinking bad things, even about ourselves, you know, with that
course.
thought process we can have. And so I try to put out just positivity.
Absolutely.
Positivity, you know, and
Because you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Right? Like attracts like.
yeah,
Right? You'll know the person by their fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you look at the outside of your life, that is a demonstration of what's going on in the inside of your life. So if things are going crappy outside, it has nothing to do with the outside, and it has everything to do with how you think and how you feel, because your frequency is creating that reality. And you don't need to tackle or wrestle with anything or change or manipulate or limit or constrict or feed into, right? Because a lot of times we just try to do the same thing smarter, do the
Totally.
same thing harder,
Yeah.
do the same thing more kind, do the same thing with more money. All right, didn't work. I need more money. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that, but I won't be mean anymore. Okay, now I'll
Yep.
be nicer anymore.
Justifications,
We're
yeah.
trying to figure it out on the outside, but all of the work is on the inside. And then when you change your vibration, your frequency, like you said,
Yeah.
your energetic expression, right? You're that beacon. You're literally attracting, calling in other people who are living at that frequency and vibration. And then again, you look up from the water, sky, water, sky, water, sky. You're like, look at these friends. Look at these people lifting me up and bringing stuff to the table. This is different,
yeah,
right? This isn't me.
yeah,
On my own, I do stupid stuff.
yep,
I gravitate towards weirdos, you know? And I didn't, do 90 Hail Marys. I didn't wear a chastity belt. I didn't beat or whip myself for, all the crappy ways I operate. I didn't shame, or I didn't bite my lip when I was angry. I didn't go to anger management classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just changed the thoughts, stupid thoughts that actually were, seemed like, okay, this is lame, but I'm going to
Yeah.
do it. And then all of a sudden I find myself not thinking the thought, not having the feeling,
Yeah.
not feeling more free, unrestricted, being myself in a constant state of expectation of what's next.
Yeah.
This is cool. How's this all going to come together for the good? I don't know. I'm glad I don't know. You know?
yeah. How do people start down that path? Because I feel like some people get stuck in this space of, what's the way to put it? They kind of feel embarrassed or not know how to grow and to tap into that spirituality, or they're not around the people that they feel they can talk openly with about this. You know what I mean? And they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. And yeah, it starts on the inside, but how do they start that work on the inside?
So, first and foremost, you have to look around your life. Look at your relationships, look at your finances, look at your job. Do you love your job and you're happy and you're useful and effective, or do you hate it? Or is it mundane? Are you settling for a lot less? Maybe it's not terrible, but it just feels, I'm not inspired. Okay. So it can be really bad, or it can be in between, but it's not great. You don't love what you do and you're not doing what you love, or people are upset at you and you owe money and, whatever. Look around at your life. Look at your thoughts. Look at your feelings, right? Are you struggling with a lot of depression? Are you overeating? Do you feel out of control? This all this kind of stuff. And then realize that it's nothing about what's going on outside and everything about what's going inside. And decide to stop feeding into, focusing on, or giving credit to any of your feelings, because that's what is and what has been, or something that you always revert to, right? Okay, so the way I feel is killing me, or leaving me moderately dissatisfied. It doesn't have to be terrible.
Yeah.
It could be moderately dissatisfying. And then, so the second part of that is people will be like, all right, it's moderately dissatisfying. I'm not happy, joyous, and free. I'm not living in a state of abundance. I don't feel like the universe is conspiring in my favor at all times and divine love is flowing through me and whatever. Or, I feel pretty stuck. But I can't, but there's the big problem. The but.
Yeah.
But I don't have anybody around me I can talk to this about.
Yeah.
But I'm ashamed to tell it. It's like,
Yeah.
that's just more of your feelings and thoughts. And we already agreed that your feelings and thoughts have been creating the problem. So let's stop with the feelings and thoughts and let's get into practical application. Let's get into forced, constructive interference with new truths, new principles, new ideas, new mantras, new songs, new writing. Express it and work with it until it becomes your new norm. So I'm going to give you like a really interesting and cool golden key. And
Okay.
I think a lot of people in the world, this is very common. We struggle with the idea or the conception or the attachment to energy, that I need more energy. I don't have enough energy. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So let's just say I wake up in the morning and I have this idea. I just don't have energy today. I'm slow today. I need more energy. So when I have that idea, then I have to do things outside of me to address the internal problem with exterior solutions. Maybe I'm going to drink more coffee today. Maybe I need a Red Bull. But probably I'll also need to like avoid some of those phone calls because I just don't have the energy. And I might even show up to work a little late and maybe not in a great mood because you don't understand. I just don't have energy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, why don't I have energy? Well, it's because, I didn't sleep that good. I'm going to start to give titles to why. I'm going to bolster it up. I'm going to build it up in my consciousness. I'm going to give it reasons. And if anybody tries to argue with me, I'm probably going to be pretty, a stone wall because you don't understand. I am now terminally unique. What I've done is I've cut myself off from you and my fellows and God because God's not big enough for this energy thing. This is a unique thing to me right now that has to be addressed. So now we're having a conversation and it's like, oh man, I kind of like what I'm saying, but I can't get into it. I can't enjoy it as much. I can't be as conversational. I can't interject and add any value to this because I just don't have energy. And unconsciously, I decided this morning that I need to reserve it.
Yeah.
I don't have enough. And and then the more you work with this idea, the more tired you are.
Right.
And the harder it is to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I got to take some medication.
Right. Exactly.
And then maybe I just got to skip a meeting. I got to skip a conference. I got to skip a friends group. I got to skip dancing. I got to skip a hike. And all of a sudden now I just find myself isolating. I find myself disconnecting. And now I'm starting to ruminate about what else I need to do. And essentially everything is wrong in my life just by the simple idea of being tired or having low energy.
So true, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're taking it down to a human, like a whole population issue. This is a worldwide
This is a world
addiction.
issue. Yeah.
Addicted to the idea that I could be tired or not have enough energy. Okay. So because I think it and because I give it credit and I give it titles and I give it reasons for why, right? Rationalization, justification, blame even. It's that person's fault for keeping me up on the phone. It's Instagram. I just won't look at Instagram. It's Instagram's fault. That's what's keeping me awake. So now I can't sleep. And now my world's in chaos. The stillest waters best reflect the heavens. So when my waters are all choppy with the world at large and what I need to do to make it better, I'm literally separating myself. I have no more juice. I have no more connection. But I will give you a scientific fact that can annihilate the human conception about energy. Every human body on the face of the planet, and this is not unique to me, this is not unique to you, everybody has 35 to 37 trillion cells in their body. You have it. Scientifically proven, clinically backed. Google it, right?
Okay.
Document it.
Yeah.
All right. And in each cell of your body, you have zero point 0.07 millivolts of electricity. 0.07, a very tiny current in each cell. However, if you take 35 to 37 trillion times 0.07, you get 2.63 trillion volts of electricity. That's what's in your body. Have you ever licked a 9-volt battery to still see if it still had a charge?
I have, yeah.
You felt the little zap, right?
Uh-huh.
I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to imagine licking a 2.63 trillion volt battery. Okay?
Right.
You would evaporate.
Yeah.
You would turn into dust. You would fly 30 feet. Well, guess what? That energy, that power, that's who you are. You are more energy than you are flesh and bone. You are more energy than you are this tiny little thick thinker that's been holding you back,
Yeah.
making up opinions on God's perfect world, limiting yourself. So 2.63 trillion volts is more than a nuclear power plant produces. It's also more than the sun.
That's
Okay?
crazy when you
You
look at it
have
like
more
that.
energy than the
That's
sun.
nuts.
So the next time you think I don't have energy, you tell yourself, that's a lie. That's a
Yeah.
former me
Yeah,
attachment.
yeah.
But the truer truth, it's actually more, I can't argue with the scientists. It's
Yeah.
truer than is that you're a nuclear power plant. You're an energy powerhouse. You are created in the image of the capital E energy. Divine energy is flowing through you at 2.63 trillion volts, measured, documented, real, and you could
Yeah.
never be low on energy, ever. That is an old idea that's been keeping you back from connection, answering the phone, making calls, doing grocery shopping too, washing somebody's dish, going out of your way, which going out of your way and the work is the thing that's rewarding.
Yeah.
Doing more than you think you're capable of and experiencing that conversation you never would have experienced because you went to the place you thought you didn't have energy and then you get there and you're like, I actually have a ton of energy. This is great.
Yeah, for
but you'll
sure.
never know because
Yeah.
you didn't show up, and you didn't show up because you didn't believe you could.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe you could by a lie. Oh my
Boom.
God. So if you say to yourself on a daily basis, I am an energetic being. More
Yes.
energy runs through my veins than the sun.
Yes.
And my former ideas about energy are smashed in the presence of this new truth. And you just repeat that to yourself. It might take a couple days, it might take a couple weeks, but if you get conscious, this
Yeah.
is conscious contact.
Yeah.
This is the God thing.
Yeah.
Conscious contact of the things above you.
Yeah.
Beyond your comprehension. The new experience that changes everything.
I love that.
And if you can change anything, you can change everything.
Absolutely.
And there's a golden key for every issue in anybody's life. They just have to find the counter frequency, the higher truth, whether it's spiritual, whether it's philosophical, whether it's quantum physics or scientific or laws of mother and nature. Mother Nature, sun coming up, sun going down. The birds have everything they need to build a house.
Yep.
They have all the food they need.
True.
They have
Very
an
true.
innate sense, a strange intuition of what's right and what's wrong and when to fly for. Why don't I? Well, maybe I do. Maybe I could. Maybe everything I ever needed is all here.
Yeah.
Maybe I've been tripping. So you get more consciously aware
Yeah.
of these things and everything changes.
Yeah. And to have that awareness now more than ever, especially with the way that, society, social media, like there's a lot of things going on that are trying to distract us
Oh, yeah.
from that. And really we need to be pulling back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
So true.
And consistency. I mean, I know you practice consistency in your life. I see it,
We alcoholics are undisciplined characters, and we let God discipline us in this simple way, right? Daily,
Yeah. Yeah.
You only have today,
Yep.
so resting on your laurels is relying on yesterday's spiritual experience to make sure I'm safe and protected today. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. So the consistency in your life, how do you show up for yourself every day the way you do?
Well, one of the keys to my success.
You have an actual key in there you're going to give me? This is like the key of life.
One of the keys to my success is this nice, scribbly, chicken scratch to-do list.
Okay. I was wondering. Okay. Yeah. So those are all things that you've already done. You've had a lot done already.
So I woke up this morning at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And I went to the gym. I get my caffeine right here. Okay. Caffeine first. Okay. 6 a.m. gym, right? And then I come home, I have my protein shake, and I take my vitamins. And each one of those things is listed. So by 7:30, I have 1, 2, just waking up at 5 is on there.
Yeah.
I already know I'm going to wake up. But before I go to bed, I put this on paper so that my brain is dumped and I don't have to think about anything else.
And you write a new one every day.
I write a new one every night before I go to bed for tomorrow. I brain dump on there. If there's things right here is like for Friday, I put a couple of notes for Friday. Don't forget. That way I don't have to think about Friday when I'm going to sleep, right? Brain dump. And then by 7:30, I've already 1, 2, 3, 4. It says 7:30, come home. That's, of course you're going to come home. You went to the gym. Of course you're going to come home. But scratching that off is the dopamine hit. That at 7:30, I'm like, I won 9 things already, and it's only 7:30. I am killing this day.
Yeah.
So pray, meditate, pack your food, send your motivational, inspirational texts, gratitude list, whatever that is. I do that every day without fail. Sometimes I don't get around to it till 10 or 12, but I try to do it when I get home in the morning. 80-90% of the time I do that. And I have a rotation of guys. It helps me keep in contact with guys that I know are struggling a little bit. And the list is growing and building. And then, whatever, I have my stuff. You're right here. Look, 3. You were at 4. I scribbled you out and put 3:15. Podcast, Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
And I'm going to scribble that off when I'm done. And I will have accomplished like 15 things in a day. And if you can brush your teeth on there, you know what I mean? Your endocrine system, your hormonal system doesn't know the difference between making $100,000 and checking that off and brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
It's a win. And you release those endogenous hormones and you're like, I'm climbing. Look at me. I brushed my teeth. Good boy.
I love that though, because I'm super religious about my routine. Like I have to do the same thing every day. I get up between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning and I have my routine that I stick to every single day. But I've never done that where I wrote it down, like just like go home, eat, like things like that. Like I'll do like the main things, but that's a great idea.
It's cool.
It's like that speech, the guy that talks about, making your bed when you get up in the morning and how impactful that is. I think he even wrote a book about it. And it's so true, like those simple acts.
Yeah.
And especially for somebody that's new in recovery, or whatever it is, something new is going on in their life, just to have those simple tasks that they can do. Sometimes that's all you can do in a day,
Right.
For somebody that's just starting.
Teeth.
Yes.
Wow. I took a shower.
Yeah.
Wow. And I would agree. 100%. It's one of the things I recommend even, in detox people,
Yeah.
You do 3 things and you check them off. You're like a winner today. If you don't, at the end of the day, there's no difference. Even if you brushed your teeth and let's say you took a shower, you made a cup of coffee and you watched TV, but at the end of the day, if you didn't recognize that as things you put your mind to that you accomplished, you'll think you did nothing that day. You'll be like, I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything today. Yeah.
But you did, you know?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I love that. So you do like breath works. You're a teacher.
Yeah.
And what else are you doing right now? You're doing like some really cool things.
I got cool stuff.
You got lots of cool stuff going on.
It's a good time to be alive. And,
it is.
And be rightly situated, mentally and emotionally. So yeah, teaching breath work. I got people trained underneath me. So providing jobs for other people. We have like six different groups that we do.
Nice.
From quantum mentality to intention bracelets, music and movement therapies. What else? Oh, like spirit animal cards and just like other cool topics.
Nice.
And it's, people are waking up. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just wrapped the Baywatch documentary that it's being shopped right now. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. Everybody's looking at it.
So
Everybody's
cool.
interested. It's going to go to the highest bidder.
Nice.
It's a really neat project that has very little to do with what most people think about and more about the humanity and the stories behind the people.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Super proud to be a part of the project. Brought me back in touch with Kelly Slater.
Nice.
David Hasselhoff and I text every day. I send him my
Really?
text. Yeah.
That's
He's
so cool.
totally into Emmett Fox. He's been sober a long time now.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. What else? A good buddy of mine and I are looking into we got an offer to have a facility, a big house, like a huge estate in Woodland Hills, like for free to potentially run a program through there.
Right on.
I'll see,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. You know, still working out. I got a couple people that I kind of consult. I got a new Jeremy Jackson Fitness website that's launching for online platform
Okay.
for meal plans and diets and guided meditations.
Nice.
So I'm going to be working with some different people on selling products that I love and I take.
Yeah. And your story just shows how far you can come. Like your life right now is beyond your wildest dreams.
I mean, it's crazy.
From where you were at, right?
If I like now when I talk about my story, like
Yeah.
if I tell you the dirt and the grime and the filth and the horrendousness and the, you know, the powerlessness and the sadness and the inability to, you know my ass from a hole in the ground, or, you know, how many people I hurt and, you know, overpromise or underdeliver, even though my intentions are good, I just can't put it together. And, you know, stealing cars, robbing houses, money counterfeiting, check fraud, you know, stabbings, being robbed at gunpoint multiple times, being shot at, you know, you name it, like in and out of jail, looking at 7 years in prison, working, managing sober livings, getting high, not telling anybody, just terrible, hellish living.
Yeah.
And when I talk about it, it's like almost foreign to me now.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, like, what would it take
Yeah.
to do that again?
Right.
But yet I know it's not, it's right around the corner if I start this work, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. And I think about myself like that too, because the person I was before, not just like in my addiction, but like where I was at in my life. And, you know, and I look at who I am now and who I am spiritually now, like I'm a totally different person. Like I used to be an angry, judgmental, I was a victim. I was mad, you know, like fuck everybody. And I have become the most peaceful person through this process, you know?
Yeah.
Like for me to get mad.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I got really mad.
Yeah.
You know, just being able to like trust the process and turn it over to my higher power.
Yeah. I still get mad, but right at the same time as I get mad, I automatically know that it's an unhealed part of me. It has nothing to do with what they're doing and everything to do with some weird expectation that I put. I've done so many inventories. I'm like, oh gosh, okay, let me get back to the work and find out how I've been stepping on my own dick.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Stepping on your own dick. You know, let me avail myself to the truth because I'm mad, but I'm mad about something that isn't even true.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it isn't even real. It's a unhealed part of me that I'm projecting onto some person, someplace, or something.
For sure.
It's crazy.
And yeah, just seeing your part in it, you know, in all things. Yeah, for sure. You know, like typically when I do these, I go into like the whole backstory, right? And you tell your whole story and you get into all of that. But I feel like I don't even want to do that with you. Just because there's so much good now and like you have just so much to talk about and offer in your spirituality and just who you are that I'm kind of trying to shy away from that, you know?
Yeah.
Because we really need to go into all those gory details.
Sure. I mean, I just did it
like,
kind of in
you did it in like 30 seconds. Yeah, no, that was perfect.
Yeah,
the
pitiful,
rundown.
incomprehensible demoralization.
I mean, you've been there.
Head up my ass, blind, fully believing, you know, fully believing that I would be able to change it through my own efforts and or that it was everybody else's fault in some way, shape, or form, you know.
And what was the final thing for you that you're like, okay, I got to get sober?
So the final thing for me was almost 3 years ago now. I was on LSD. I had started with microdosing mushrooms.
Yep.
Because I was in some depression. I was bored with life. I felt like it was probably my mind that didn't work. And, you know, hedonic threshold, of course, like we always do, I back it up with a bunch of BS of why I'm allowed to be terminally unique, why I'm different, why my case is different.
For sure.
I'm so indoctrinated into my story that I can you make up any excuse of why it's okay for me. So I'm microdosing mushrooms, and you know, I'm just eating a little square of this chocolate, and it's gonna be fine. And I'm living in a sober living, and I'm not telling anybody, and I'm hiding it in the fridge, and feeling a little bit, oh, no, it's no big deal. I'm different. They won't know. They won't catch me. Oh my gosh, my inventories every time. It's like, no one's going to find out. I'll get away with it. I'll figure it out. I deserve this,
Yeah.
frying on acid. So of course the microdosing became macrodosing because I'm like, wait a minute, what does 2 chocolates feel like? I need to feel a little better. It's not working fast enough.
Right.
And then I'm not kidding. You go from this guy in sober living, committed to, I'm going to do, meetings, and I'm going to do steps and yada yada, and I'm going to, slow briety. I'm going to do it right, to I wake up and, I got a 1979 Cadillac Eldorado with a multicolored fuzzy steering wheel and bass in the trunk, and I got pounds of mushrooms, and I got DMT pens, and
Holy
I got
shit.
LSD drops for days, and we're partying, and it's great, and I'm not drinking. I'm on this spiritual journey, and it's incredible. I'm having the time of my life. I'm becoming this shaman, and I'm on the beach, working out with beautiful people and appreciating nature, and this is great. This is wonderful. And then one night, on the most insane night ever, seeing, feeling, and experiencing cosmic math and, Pachamama, whatever you want to call it, gnarly. I see the firmament. I see the dome we live in. I'm like, whoa, dude. Anyway, all of a sudden this voice comes in my head. It said, look at you. You're a fucking clown. And I look down, I have these Alexander McQueen shoes on, $700 shoes. I had leopard pants on, no shirt. My hair was yellow and red and orange. And I was with these 26-year-old kids. And, I had this car that everybody thought was fancy. It was a $12,000 car. It was a hoopty ride, but, whatever. And you're a fucking clown. You're 40 years old. You live in a sober living. You're lying to everybody, sneaking mushrooms in and out. You're on probation. You're going to spend the rest of your life looking out of a window this narrow. You're not fit for society. You don't know how to not be a criminal. These 26-year-old kids, and you're trying to be cool, needed, and loved because you're the guy willing to give away free drugs.
Damn.
I was having the time of my life moments before that. And I was like, it's so true. It's so true. Oh no. It's like, you need the steps.
Wow.
You need the steps. We're done with you. I was like, what? We're done with you. The healing that you need to do must be raw. It must be unenhanced. And then it was it. And I spent the next 2 days depressed, scared shitless, called the sober living house, told them, dude, I've been taking acid and microdosing mushrooms and doing some stuff, but do I have to take a newcomer chip? They're like, what? Of course you do. Literally, I've been in recovery my whole 22 years since I was 20 years. How am I wondering if I got to take a newcomer chip?
Yeah.
I have whooped myself into such a state of delusion, driven by fear and needing to be, needed and wanted, and oh my gosh, I'm bad, it's gnarly. And,
Wow.
I just abandoned myself to the work in this fearful state of, I've seen the future, and that voice was not lying. You know what I mean?
And who was that voice?
God,
Yeah.
higher self,
Yeah.
plant medicine, spirit of the universe,
Yeah.
the great mystery, the capital T truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Call it whatever you want, but I've heard it actually 3 times in my life. Twice was on the same day, or within the same hour, really. And that time, actually 3 times, 4 times. Twice was on the same day. The other one was years ago I ate 1,000 milligrams of weed on accident.
Jesus.
I know, it was so scary. And it said, I was like, and I was like, what is that? What is that? I'm like, well, I can't hear you. I was like, I was like, oh, I was like pretty tripping. And I was like, oh, okay. And I closed my eyes and I went in and I pictured a mixing board and I turned some knobs. I turned up some reverb and we turned down some reverb and some static. And it's like, Jeremy, can you? And I was like, yeah, I can hear
Holy
you.
shit.
Get a pen and paper right now. I was like, what? Get a pen and paper, write this down. Okay. And said, it said, this is your future self, or this is the future you. I'm smart. You know that, right? I'm like, yeah, you are pretty smart. Yeah. I said, if you keep, what did it say? I still have the paper down. It was the same thing, dude. It said, you're going to spend the rest of your life looking out of a little slanted window.
Yeah.
Wondering why you got here. You are not fit for society. And this is your last chance. It scared the holy crap out of me. Did it again.
Yeah.
I got high again.
Yeah.
It's not enough. None of the stuff is enough.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way on that last one, I realized that the spiritual breakthrough, the moment of clarity is not enough. It has to be backed up by vigilant work.
Yes.
Where my 2 feet are right here, right now, not tomorrow, not when it's more comfortable, when it's more convenient, not when I'm not depressed, not when I have more energy, but right now at all costs, day in, day out.
Absolutely.
And from that place, anything and everything is possible.
Yeah. And I love how you said that about, microdosing and doing that, because a lot of people are doing that now. And like, no judgment, right? Like to each their own. Everyone's on their own journey. But, I always look at that in a way of like, all right, if you're doing that, like you're still trying to numb yourself out in one way or another.
Yeah.
You haven't done that inward work, because if you truly are at a place where you love yourself and you're content,
you don't need
and
it.
you're present, you don't need it.
I see sacred geometry and like, when like people's face, like it's almost like a Picasso painting, like it moves. I see that when I'm working with the sponsee and they have a God consciousness moment. I'm like,
Yeah, you can.
like, whoa, dude. Like I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like tripping. Like this is powerful. I feel it. It overcomes me. Like when you're about to roll on Molly and your hair stands up on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
You know that feeling?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I get that feeling now sober.
Yeah, that's rad.
Dude, I see beauty on people. Like I see like kings, queens, like beautiful, pristine spirits. Like that's who you are,
Yeah,
that's
that's
who
so
we
cool.
all are.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not all the time, but I
Right,
get it.
right.
And it's in the moments where I find when I self-forget. It's in the moment where I'm just doing the work.
Yeah.
It's real, dude.
And giving back, like you sponsor guys, you do a lot of work out there. Like what does that, what have you learned about yourself? And what does that give you like in your everyday life when you're able to help others? Because we need to be doing that more. Everybody needs to be helping others.
Right. Absolutely. Well, my sponsor taught me a couple cool things. One of them is called the divine inconvenience. And especially when it's inconvenient is when you got to do it.
Yeah.
Especially. Oh, yeah, I'll totally help you. Like if I'm not too busy,
Right.
if I don't have other things going on, right? If I'm in a good mood, I'll totally show up for you.
Right, maybe.
That's worthless. Dude.
Yeah.
That's actually worthless. It has
Yeah.
actually no value, But when you're tired, when you feel like you're too busy, and when you feel like something is more important than service to others, is when you're screwed.
Yeah.
So I learned to jump on it like a bird dog. Like there it is. That's the prize.
Yeah.
That's where my juice is.
Yeah.
That's where my juice is. My juice is not in getting more sleep. My juice is not in making more money. That's not where my juice is. If I got to lose money to do that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come back 10x. I know it, and because I believe it and I know it and I give altruistically with no motive of gain, then it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like for me, what I was doing before, I was doing business development in the treatment field, and I was like drained, because it wasn't purposeful work. I wasn't really giving back in the way that I felt that like I was called to. And I just knew for a long time, like, I got to get out of this. And when I got out of it and started living a more purposeful life and giving back and helping others, it just filled my cup.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt like I was constantly like handing out these coins all the time to people and just like depleting me.
Mm.
You know, and then now I'm like, okay, I'm doing this work from the inside of what I want to do and I'm passionate about, I'm driven to do, and I know like God put this on my heart to do this, and I feel like a completely different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's not wrong or bad to have a job. You know, it's just
No.
not like you have to not have a job and be homeless, walking down the street, being some kind of, you know what I mean? Like there's spiritual people that will do that, you know, because they don't want to be attached to anything or whatever, and that's cool too. But just the recognition of where your real source and supply comes from.
Exactly.
Then you're the abundant fountain that can never run dry.
Yep.
And you're giving from that place,
Yeah.
and it comes back to you. It's called in breathwork we call it the universal energy flow. When you're operating and open from your heart, unrestrictedly giving, it goes out, it blesses other people, multiplies, goes back up to the heavens, comes back down to you, and you're just a divine channel. You become a divine channel when you give from that place.
Yeah.
And the other thing is seeing eye sponsees. I don't even know. I forget that I'm blind. You know what I mean? Until I get the seeing eye sponsees, the guys that show me. That's why we keep doing it. So I don't
I've never heard
forget.
that before. I love
It's a
that.
seeing eye sponsee, right? It's like they're actually leading you.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
Whether they stay sober or don't, whether they show up to the meeting or don't, whether they keep calling you or don't, they're leading you. They're showing you where you don't want to ever be again.
For sure.
And we need it.
I tell anybody that I help, I'm like, thank you for helping me stay sober today. Because they truly do.
Yeah.
You know, I love everything you have to say. I feel like I could just listen to you for hours and hours.
Well, you spot it because you got it, homie. You got to spot it. Like attracts like.
What would you say to guys out there struggling right now? What would you have wanted to hear back in the day?
Ooh, that's a big one. Look, the struggle is not real. People say the struggle is real, right? The struggle is not real. The struggle is a lie, right? The struggle is a lie. It's a manifestation of your current ways of thinking. That's all it is. And you're never never going to be able to change your current ways of operating and thinking with the mind that you presently have. Albert Einstein says, you cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created the problem.
Yes.
In order to solve the problem that I created, I must have an enhanced awareness, a new perspective, or wisdom. And wisdom comes through experience and experience only. So, put the problems to the side and come join us on the winning team who are solution oriented. And we will tell you, sit on your hands, don't get loaded even if you shit a kitten or something like that. Do the steps or die, motherfucker. We'll say some shit like that.
Yeah.
And or share how we overcame those things until your hand is placed in God's, until you've been restored to sanity through new awareness and new perspective, through the experience of the steps, not the homework, not the assignment of it, but the interior adaptation of a design for living in the way you process and the way you think. This is software, this is hardware. And the hardware's been programmed by everything you've been thinking and doing, and all your traumas and all your grief and all your loss. And you can't get rid of it. You have to change this and what you're seeing and what you're focusing and what you're hearing and what you're saying all day long. And then this drops into this. You reprogram the hardware so you're not driven by this machine that you created.
Right.
Yeah. So the struggle's not real. Surrender is how you win. Stop hitting yourself in the head with a hammer to get rid of your headache. Just doing more of the same, but harder, or seemingly smarter, or better, or with more effort. And come try a different way. Take a different street. You know the story about taking a different street?
No, let's hear it.
Okay. So this guy's walking down the street and falls in a hole. And the hole's deep and gets a little scraped up. kind of scared, freaked out. Takes him forever to get out. And then the next day he's walking down the street, and he's going to avoid the hole today. He's going to avoid the hole today. And he forgets, and he falls in the hole again. And he gets scraped up pretty bad. Takes him forever to get out. He's all dirty. It was pretty stressful. So the next day, he's going to jump over the hole. He's going to avoid the hole. He's not going to forget that the hole's there, and he still falls in the hole. Oh my gosh. Now it's a habit. Takes him forever to get out. All scraped up, bruised, pretty stressful. And so the next day, he just decides to take a different street. Wow. The other street was there all along. And I think as addicts, when we focus on the problem only grows. And like the energy idea, what we do is, I know what I'll do. Dude. I'm gonna enroll in a weekend rock climbing class, and wherever I go, I'm just gonna bring a rope with me. Yeah, I'll show that hole, right? I'll show that hole. Yeah, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna complain to the city. It's the city's fault that hole's there. Fill that freaking hole. It's your fault. I'm following holes. It's our government. Yeah, damn it. Or it's these big old trucks. Yeah, them damn trucks making holes. I'm following it, or whatever, right? Exterior solutions to interior problems. The interior problem is I can't even think or notice the easy solution of taking a different street.
Yeah.
And I spend time and effort on blaming the hole diggers, or time and energy on how to get out of holes quicker. I'm going to become an expert in getting out of holes quick. I mean, that's what we do as addicts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring Narcan with me. Yeah. I'll just bring Narcan with me wherever I go, and then they'll be done. I'll just get on this med, and I'll just move to this city, and then I won't talk to that person.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're a human being. Like restriction isolates. Trying to gain power through medications and education, that's not fun. We don't want to do that. We want ease and comfort. We want peace and freedom. We want boundless. We want to be able to do anything. We want to go anywhere. Your spirit wants to be free. It doesn't want to be constricted in rules and regiment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably why most of us started getting high in the first place.
For sure.
Because we don't want rules and regimen, man. We want to screw the system. We want to have fun and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Guess what? You can have fun and do whatever you want. Turns out what you really want is a sense of really being right here, right now.
Yes.
In tune with everything, playing the grand symphony. This is a big song, the universe, una one verse song. And if you're not in harmony with it and you feel like you're out of key and out of tune, it's nobody else's fault but yours. And the tuning of your instrument, which is who you truly are, an instrument of the divine, can be tuned through simple things. And then all of a sudden you can take a different street. And you might even enjoy the different street, but people don't take the different street because it's scary. They've never been on that street. They don't even know that route. What if they get lost on that street? What if I get lost on that street? What if I see somebody I don't like on this street? This street's comfortable, right? And then you're in the hole again. But it was the thoughts that limited you from the new street. And your own comfort, your same ideas, same experience, courage in the face of fear, surrender in the face of I just want to beat the hole. Oh, never mind on the hole. I'm going to take the different street. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is great. I saw a hummingbird in a nest on that different street. I can't wait to take that street every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're here to do.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Sucker.
Take the different street. Smell the roses.
Yes. Smell the roses.
Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. But you probably need somebody else to show you the street.
Yeah.
You need a guide. You need a mentor. You need somebody you respect who's overcome that which you've yet to overcome, and to help you enhance your mind, change your perspective, see new opportunities, work with these spiritual tools. If you've been playing an instrument wrong for a long time, it might feel right to you. This is just how I play, This is just how I play. It's more comfortable. But if you learn how to hold it right, you're actually going to get better.
Yeah.
And if you are working with a specific tool and you have to use a new tool, it's not the same. It's funky. I'm not that good with this. I'm better with the old one. But through practice, you become a samurai. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get comfortable with the new tools, and they work. And if you're at the point where the old ones don't anymore, abandon your toolkit and go pick up a new one and let it be funky, let it be weird, ask for help,
Yeah.
and get proficient with the tool. It's a spiritual toolkit. It's laid at your feet. It's free. And there's a ton of us that are like frothing at the mouth to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does that person find somebody like this?
We're all over the place, man.
All over the place.
Get on the internet.
Get
man.
on the internet, you guys.
Zooms and rooms. And,
Yep.
you know, various forms of 12-step recovery.
Yeah.
I guarantee you know somebody that's sober. Yeah, call them. Somebody's mom, aunt, uncle. It doesn't matter if they're 60 and you're 19. That 60-year-old person will plug you in with some 19-year-olds
Yeah.
in an instant. They'll make the whole rest of their day about you.
Yeah.
Throw them a bone.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah. They do. They need it. Well, thank you so much.
I love you. Good
I
to
love you
see
too. You're amazing. This was great.
Happy to be a part of this thing.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Peace.
Take the